Hi, the news that Amazon closed or plans to close all seven of its Quebec warehouses in 2025, an operation announced on January 22nd, 2025, is more than just a business decision. It is a moment that demands a collective stand from all Canadians. This shift, which will impact approximately 4,500 direct and indirect jobs, must be viewed through the lens of a fundamental Canadian value: the right to unionize and collectively bargain. Let me take a minute to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Okay, so now I want to stress how important this anti-Canadian act by Amazon is. This right is not a privilege, it is a legally protected pillar of our society, rooted deeply in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Specifically, Section 2D's guarantee of freedom of association. The Supreme Court has interpreted this to include the rights to form unions, bargain collectively, and to strike. These protections are further codified by the Canada Labour Code for federally regulated sectors and mirrored in comprehensive provincial legislation covering most workers across the country. In Canada, workers have the freedom to join a union without employer interference, to negotiate contracts for fair wages and conditions, and to rely on the right to strike as an essential tool for meaningful bargaining. Most importantly, and affecting all Canadians, numerous reports and studies confirm that the presence of unions helps raise wages for both union members and non-union workers across the country. This effect, known as the spillover or threat effect, means that unions effectively set broader wage standards across industries and regions. When a corporation of Amazon's stature chooses to wind down an entire provincial operation, leaving thousands jobless, soon after its workers were organizing, it raises the urgent question of respect for Canadian law and workers' rights. As Bertrand Guibord, president of the Conseil Central du Montréal Métropolitain CSN, rightfully stated, "We will be behind the workers until they get what they deserve," and he explicitly urged the public to boycott Amazon following the devastating closures. Companies that demonstrate a pattern of not respecting Canadian laws and the fundamental right of Canadian workers to unionize must face the consequence of a boycott. Economic action is a powerful, nonviolent means for citizens to enforce the moral contract that underpins our economy. If Canadians and unions across the country do not stand up against what can be perceived as a foreign attack on our established, legally backed labor rights, we send the wrong message. An indifferent response across Canada will be interpreted as a tacit approval by Amazon, normalizing this behavior and potentially setting a dangerous precedent for its operations in other provinces. Our collective action now is vital. We must send a clear message that Canadian rights are not negotiable, and any company operating on our soil, foreign or domestic, must abide by the laws and values that define our workplace freedoms. Here is my plea and call to action. Elbows up, Canada. We must draw a line in the digital sand. The cost of convenience can never be the erosion of our fundamental rights. Companies that do not respect Canadian laws and the right to unionize must be boycotted. Let our economic choices be our loudest protest. Boycott Amazon. Support local businesses. Buy Canadian. Choose companies that treat their workers with dignity and companies that respect our laws. Let this be our national promise. We will not yield our sovereignty to a shipping label. We are a nation built on fairness and the rule of law. Take the pledge today. No more Amazon until they respect the Charter and the rights of every worker in Canada. To the thousands of workers in Quebec whose jobs were cut simply for having the audacity to ask for a voice, we stand with you. Your fight is our common cause.